What's up, Kings? Microwave Blunt here, executive mindset coach and founder of the Executive Mindset School. Today I'm reacting to Nick Fuentes, Black People, Your Culture Sucks, and breaking it down through the lens of elite performance, identity transformation, and strategic psychological reprogramming. If you're serious about leveling up your identity, 10xing your wealth, and maxing out your full potential, this one's for you. Let's dive in.
Look, I think black people are not irredeemable, but there just needs to be brutal honesty. It's like, look, these black people are really struggling and they're turning into these maniacs. It seems like they don't do anything right. They're obnoxious, they're rude, they're inconsiderate, aggressive, cruel. And, look, nobody hates black people for being black. If there are people like that, I think that's exceedingly rare. And I don't consider myself one of them. The reason that people have negative attitudes about black people is because most people's interactions with black people are negative. Most people's interactions with black people is when you're stuck in traffic and you see a Nissan Altima speeding down the shoulder. And you say, you're not supposed to do that. If everybody did that, it would just be another lane and, not everybody can do that. But it's like these people have no respect for decorum. They think the rules don't apply to them. They have no respect for society. Like that's their interaction is they are a waiter and they wait on a black table and the black people don't tip and they're fucking rude. Like that's most people's interactions. It's stuff like that. They go to the DMV and they see a black person behind the counter and they say, oh, here we go. And the person's rude. Yep. Now, it just goes to show people are not racist. It goes to show people don't like people that are rude. That people don't, it's unpleasant. People want to be treated with consideration and respect. And it is true that black people are, in this day and age, unfortunately, seem to have very low moral character. It's not even just the violence, although the violence is pretty striking. If you live your life and you know that you're going to be mugged by black people, it kind of colors your opinion or perception of black people, wouldn't you say? If 99% of the carjackings and stabbings and shootings that you see in Chicago are by black people, when you're walking down the street late at night, guess what you're looking for? Black people.
Okay, so I don't disagree with what he's saying about people. Who wants to be around people who have a hood mentality? Who wants to be around people who are dangerous? Who wants to be around people who you think are going to mug you? Who wants to be around people who are disrespectful and don't consider your feelings and have low moral character? The issue that I have with what he's saying is he's saying black people. Black people. There's 50 million black people in the United States, which makes about 15% of the population in the United States. The people that he's talking about, I very rarely run across. And when I run across those people, I run across them from all different races. Now, I happen to have lived in very diverse areas. So that could be the Chinese person who doesn't speak that much English, but has been very rude to me. Am I going to say that all Chinese people fit the stereotype of being rude and being very racist? I've run across Mexicans who brought machetes and guns to school. Am I going to say that all Mexicans or gangbangers are a part of the cartel? So what exactly are we doing right now? Well, what we're doing is projection does not equal reality. And Nick Fuentes has this amazing ability to take the worst slice of a community and project it onto the whole. And that's exactly what's happened. Now, I don't know what these, I'm not gonna lie. When I look at these two guys and I hear them, it's really hard for me to have a balanced perspective. And I normally have a very balanced and very straight perspective on both sides. But I'm going to guess what they're going to say. And I'm going to let you hear what they're going to say, because they say the same thing in every single podcast. And I'm sure that this one, I haven't heard the rest of this, but I'm sure with this one, it's not going to be any different. They're not going to be surprising. And I can't wait to give you feedback on that.
You hit the nail on the head, man. Yeah, we got to show y'all.
Hit the nail on the head, man.
Before we get today's bill, I want to tell you about my new giveaway. F-250.
No one cares.
Very blunt, too. Yeah, but everything he's saying,
It's
me and
true.
my brother, we figured it out when we was 12 years old.
Yeah.
I didn't like going to the black
hate
side of town.
being around black
I like
people.
staying over on the white side of town.
Mm.
Because I had bad experiences when I went over
Because
there.
white people are
Actually,
perfect.
The majority of my black friends I had growing up in high school, eventually they tried to kill me. Well, I had a black friend pull a gun on me. Well, our first gun was put on us when we was 10, 11 years old. It's a member of the basketball team. Yeah.
He had a member of the basketball team pull a gun on him. We had to shut the school down because a white teenager brought a gun to school and he was going to shoot up everybody. Are we making generalizations now, saying that all white kids are crazy? Or because he had a bad experience with some black people in the school? What's happening right now?
We was on the basketball team together. We was going in for basketball practice. I had knives. I had black people threatening to kill me. That was like, and that wasn't just I'm not talking about isolated events. This is like.
I grew up in California and I had some MS-13 members trying to kill me at one point. Well, maybe just trying to beat me up.
People I went to school with. This is the experiences we had before we even graduated from high school. I was scared of growing up. I'm black and I'm scared to be around black folks. I figured that out when I was.
Listen, they say the same thing in every single podcast. The reason why I have an issue with what they say is not because of what they say, but is because they only have one perspective. They only have the perspective of someone who has had negative experiences with black people. They don't have any balance. They don't have anything positive to say. They don't bring in the complete picture. They don't talk about how this is only a microcosm, how this is a mindset, and how this runs across all different cultures. And I'm not saying that we don't have our own issues. I do think the black culture as a whole has a PR issue, because when I think about black culture, I think about excellence. I think about black excellence. I think about education. I think about entrepreneurship. I think about beauty. I think about spirituality. I think about resilience. But does that ever get called on mainstream programming? No. Why? Because it doesn't sell. It's not dramatic. It's not drama. It's not something negative that of the tabloids that people are going to buy into. It's by the world standards of comparing against drama, boring. So those are the people that I grew up around, because I didn't experience this type of mentality. And what Nick is talking about right now, and these two guys are talking about right now, is a certain mentality. And that's what we need to start attacking rather than black people.
I was like 13, 14. I didn't want to be around them. Yeah. Let me finish Nick.
Shootings that you see in Chicago are by black people. When you're walking down the street late at night, guess what you're looking for? Black people. And you equate that with danger.
Hey, Kevin, you be walking down the street, you said, let me move. One over there. Hey, look, it's the black people. He just crossed the street. He's gonna rob us. Let's cross the street. Hey, look, I can't see him. He said, look, there's his eyes. You can see his eyes moving.
Sure. And it doesn't take a lot of them to spoil the whole bunch like that. And accountability, and say, look, I'm not a bad person. I'm not a bad person. It just seems that every time I encounter you people, for the most part, it's
You
negative.
people.
And sometimes
What do you mean, you
extremely
people?
negative. Like I could get a gun in my face. You know, that's a problem. And people go, well, you are just
I've never had a gun.
loaded up with hatred and racism. It's like, I'm really not. I'm a really friendly person. I'm a really polite, friendly person. I give everybody a chance. But if I'm someplace and I see some black person walking in with their pants sagging and they can't articulate what their problem is or what they need, and they're rude and they're aggressive, and I'm in fear for my life, like, yeah, I have a problem with all of that.
Well, who doesn't have a problem with all of that? But that's in any culture. If I go to a Cracker Barrel and I see, some hillbillies and they have the Confederate flag, I'm not going to be the first person to greet them. And I'm going to feel a little fearful because there might be some type of confrontation. They might not like me. There might be some type of, I don't know. But I understand his point. When you see people with these type of mentalities, when you see people with these hood or dangerous mentalities, like these poor mentalities, these social economically poor mentalities that breed, this type of aggression and violence, then yeah, no one wants to be around that. No one accepts this. Not Black people, not white people, not Asians, not Indians, not Latino people. No one wants to be around that. So he's not saying anything that's wrong from that perspective. But it's what he's confusing, when he's conflating, is popularization doesn't equal the actual culture. And again, let's go back to the stats. 50 million Black people, 15%. There's a small percentage of those Black people who have this hood mentality. That hood mentality has become popularized not only within Black culture, hood culture, but also in America and across the world. To be fair, you can see this has played out across the world in certain types of music, in certain types of ways that people dress, et cetera. And it kind of breeds that type of aggression and energy in that movement. But it's a small percentage. And when you conflate this being this popularization with an actual culture, I didn't grow up in that culture. I went to debutante ball. I was in Jack and Jim. So, yes, somebody could say, well, there's only a certain percentage of people like you who went to college and did all these things. And I'm like, okay, well, that's all I know, and I did grow up with family members who had this hood mentality, et cetera. Again, small percentage. I understand it from both sides. And it's not something that I want to be around either. I don't want to be around gangs. I don't want to be around Italians who are in the mafia. I don't want to be around Mexicans or Latinos who are in the cartel. I don't want to be around the riffraff. So to say that this is someone's whole culture is a complete miscarriage of identifying a certain type of people or individuals that bring so much beauty to the world. And I think that's what he's missing.
And people go, and these Black people go, well, you're racist. It's like,
I don't think you're racist.
No, I just hate inconsiderate behavior.
Me too.
What's crazy? Like, Black people don't like white people telling them this.
Mm-hmm.
But when Black people like us come out and say the same thing, we're sellouts.
Mm-hmm.
We want to be white.
No, you're a sellout because you only sell. Okay, let me make this point. They're sellouts because they only sell one side of the story. That's a sellout. I'll leave it alone.
Hold people accountable. Like if you see an Asian person, Japanese, whether they're Chinese, Japanese, Korean, behaving like this person is blackballed. He's an outcast in that culture, in that family. And Black in our culture, it's embraced. It's embraced.
Culture? In what family is that not? Is that acceptable?
We make movies about drug dealers. We think that stuff is cool. Yeah, George Floyd is a perfect example. Yeah, perfect example. We embrace that. Yeah. That's what's wrong with our community. Built statues. I mean, it was unfortunate what happened to him, but everything that happened to George Floyd was totally preventable. It's self-inflicted. Yeah. Like, you can live an unhealthy life eating horrible food. You go in for heart surgery, the doctor makes a mistake. Can you really blame the doctor? You put yourself in that position. Of course the doctor's gonna make mistakes. Police officers gonna make mistakes. You gotta hold yourself accountable. You gotta do better. You can prevent all these things. Just an ounce of prevention goes a long way.
Super well behaved, we would be racist in the other direction. We'd say Black people, oh yes, dude, yes. My day is about to turn around for the better. What can I help you with, sir? Please come right on in. Man, what a relief to see you here. You're a sight for sore eyes. If Black people are known for being the best, then we would be racist in the other direction. Oh, finally.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So yeah, that really bothers me. It just bothers me in this damn ass city because that's all it is in Chicago is just these Black people who can never take accountability. It's always somebody else's fault. It's a shit.
That's amazing. He lives in Chicago, but
Here's another point that I'm going to make. This is something that we talk about within Executive Mindset School is we teach about identity transformation in the reticular activating system. And the reticular activating system is this part of your brain that filters out information that comes into your brain. There's trillions of information that's out there. And in order to process it all, your reticular activating system focuses on a small segment of that aligns with your belief systems, your thoughts, your feelings, and your emotions. It basically helps your beliefs, your reality, come true by only focusing on that particular part of the information segment that's available to us. Here's the issue. Your reticular activating system can be on default to only see these types of people with these types of mentalities. And if that's what your reticular activating sees based on, or I should say match with your belief system, that is probably for him inherently Black people are, what's the name of this title? Black people suck. So if I believe that Black people suck in my reticular activating system to only see Black people who suck, then I'm going to continue to only interact with people who are going to make, or Black people that are going to give me the impression that they suck. That's science. That's not, there's nothing more to it than that. That's science. But also what we teach in executive mindset school and EMS is how to reprogram and how to expand your identity transformation. And once you get into that mindset, this is maxing out your full human potential. And this is something that I don't see here. I don't see this with Nick Fuentes. I don't see this with the conservative twins. I only see a monolithic way of thinking. This tells me that they have not been doing any type of inner work. And when I see people who don't do the inner work, but they go into these platforms and they're just spewing all of these things, it's very hurtful and it's very detrimental, not only to them because it pigeonholes them and makes them kind of like an enemy, us versus them, rather than somebody who's more inclusive where we can actually have conversations. So it's not necessarily that we can't have a conversation with him. It's just this, he has a way of thinking. His mindset is very narrow and it's actually no different than the mindset that he hates. The mindset that he hates is very narrow. It's a very specific way of thinking. It happens to be a very aggressive way of thinking. It happens to be a very poor way of thinking. It happens to be a very non-expansive or digressive way of thinking. Nick Fuentes and the conservative twins happen to have a very narrow mindset. It happens to be a very aggressive way of thinking. It happens to be a very non-expansive and limited way of thinking. I'm starting to see some parallels here.
All his family's there. He grew up there, Man. Yeah, but that's not only true for Chicago. That's through the entire United States. Yeah, it's true for every inner city. It's the same thing.
I grew up in LA.
And when you call it out, if you're white, they call you racist. If you're Black, or you're a sellout, you whitewashed. What is that term, whitewash? I behave white? And so that's actually a negative connotation in the Black community. You're whitewashed. Yeah. That is crazy. That's culture. But he points out the things that's wrong with the Black community, and now he's the racist. Mm-hmm. It's no accountability. Yeah, everything about us is negative. The way we think, the way we vote, the way we dress, the music we celebrate, the culture we celebrate.
Everything about us is negative.
Black people need to tear down everything we learned and start all over again. Okay, it's genetic. Yeah, a lot of it is based on your genetics. A lot of it is, yeah. I'll say, yeah.
If everything is wrong with Black people, does that mean there's something wrong with them? Or are they not Black, so there's nothing wrong with them? Because the argument that they're making is everything is wrong with Black people, but they're obviously Black. So I'm very interested to see what they have to say about themselves if that's their argument.
Not 50%, not 60%. I would say 80% of what... Yeah, I guess I should shut up. I think it's all genetic. Get away from, like, say, horrible parents at a young age and put them with a white, conservative, moderate, wholesome, liberal family. Not a progressive family. Not a far-left family. Straight down the center,
Black kids,
wholesome, religious, white family, and they will perform 10 times better in our life compared to the average black family in America. And if you think I'm lying, you think I'm a sellout, that is the God's to honest truth. How you think you got the first black president in America? Yep.
He was raised by a black mom.
Yep. Because his daddy was nowhere to be found. Yeah, that's another stereotype. Yeah, thank God his mom, I think she had some issues too. Yeah, she wasn't perfect. She wasn't perfect, but her...
I'm going to stop this here. This is a lot. All right, man. So what do y'all think? Was Nick Fuentes right, or would you have handled it differently? Do you agree with me, or do you disagree? Drop your thoughts below in the comments, and let's hash this out like men. Either way, I would love to hear your feedback. And if you're ready to go beyond just consuming this type of content, join me inside the Executive Mindset School. It's where high-performing men like you come to reprogram, recalibrate, and rise. Links in the description, and until next time, let's build wealth from the inside out.